I watched so many animes this year. There were highly anticipated titles. There were shows that caught everyone by surprise. There were shows people didn't even know existed. And there were even shows that probably shouldn't even exist. The amount of good anime that came out this year was just crazy, and the lineup is probably just as strong as 2019, if not better. If 2020 was the calm before the storm and 2021 was the storm, then 2022 was the shitstorm for animes. However, that doesn't mean that this year was all good. Devil is a Part-Timer Season 2 came out and it immediately showed that the production was still stuck in 2010. Uzumaki's production quality was so ahead for current animes, so it got delayed again to 2023. Do It Yourself was an anime about girls joining arts and crafts club, which honestly was kind of fun. But if there is one thing that became 100% certain, then it is that people have really shit taste in rom-com. One of the most entertaining shows from this year was definitely Tomodachi Game. It was heavily overshadowed by the incredible lineup of the spring season and wasn't exactly on par in production quality all the way through. However, from its concept, characters and deviously evil story, the anime hooked me to a point where I was anxious for every new episode and immediately went on to reading the manga once the season ended. It is not your typical main guy has all the powers, nor does it have a source material that's basically an autobiography of the main character. But it follows a story with certain characters and traits that could change the stakes at any given moment. Just keep in mind to trust no one and carefully follow the rules if you can. It also has Manabu, which is a plus point. The manga of Shikimori is Not Just a Cutie has been pulling my heartstrings for almost a year at this point, and there are no surprises. While the anime does a very good job at connecting the small chapters to create a very fun and light-hearted story, it did disappoint me in the production side a little. However, that finale reminded me why I loved the series so much in the first place and does incredible justice to what the manga is all about. There are no complicated love triangles, there are no annoying stereotypes, and the supporting characters like Hachimitsu were really fun to follow. Not to mention the opening absolutely bangs. Yet another wholesome addition to the mix. Aharen is Indecipherable is the anime that probably put a smile on my face more than any other show this year. The beautiful balance of the jokes, which were of an excellently crafted variety, and the wonderfully polished production was a consistent joy for me. I don't know how much of the manga it managed to cover, but it surely is a series that I will be looking forward to reading in 2023. I know what you're thinking. This is not a 2022 anime, but the journey so far of catching up to Castlevania has been tremendously rewarding. There is so much attention to detail in almost every aspect of this show. The lore, timeline, character writing, plot progression, soundtrack, and the animation. All of these things that the creators put so much passion into led up to the most insane and enjoyable finale I have experienced all year. And this is why Castlevania Season 4 is good enough to be kept on this list. Yoshitoki Oima knows how to write a story. Out of all of the animes I watched this year, To Your Eternity is the one anime that really managed to keep itself as a character-driven story. Other animes mostly just feel like events that the audience has to keep track of, but To Your Eternity has one single narrative that goes in different directions and is constantly becoming more interesting. Season 2 really shines as a sequel because it introduces many more interesting characters considering the story already has a strongly established background. Now, I just hope they don't mess this up near the end. I won't be surprised if no one watched this anime. It had a very underground release in the winter season and not a whole lot of marketing was done to promote it. But that didn't stop Studio Wit from putting out a visual spectacle in this show. The story is simple. Shiva is an insider and meets Sensei, who is an outsider. Due to the curse of the outsiders, Sensei cannot touch Shiva but takes care of her. But soon Shiva is found to be in danger by both outsiders and insiders. It is not a complicated story, but a simple one that tries its best by connecting with the audience through its sound design and animation. It had an OVA released back in 2019, so go watch that if you want a little hint for what you're getting yourself into. From its base idea, Kotaro Lives Alone will sound like a very depressing anime, which it actually is. But this show has a lot of uplifting moments. I watched this entire show with my brother, but he always skipped the ending song, which made me realize all the way till the end of episode 6 that the ending credits pictures were changing. He has now banned me from Netflix for making him watch all of the endings, but it is still a great show though. I think my favorite parts were when Kotaro was in off Tono-saman and Karino was just confused, or maybe when Karino's editor got on screen. Honestly guys, this show wouldn't even be on the list if my cousins hadn't told me about it. Kotaro Lives Alone is a funny, uplifting and emotional slice of life that I think a lot of people would enjoy. Cyberpunk 2077 will go down as the most disastrous launch in video gaming history next to eFootball. However, we're not here to talk about the game because the only thing at the moment that's saving the franchise is its anime. Edgerunners is an extremely polished product with tons of amazing moments. The animation is movie quality, the writing has depth and creatively thought out characters. There's passion gone into this anime from a group of people who played the game, probably after the patches. From drama, action, mystery, and a tightly engaging narrative set in a beautiful and vibrant world of Night City, Cyberpunk Edgerunners will easily be one of the best experiences anyone will have all year. Also, did you know the music for the show is done by Akira Yamaoka, the same guy who has been doing the gorgeous music for Silent Hill? My only complaint is that just like Devilman Crybaby, Netflix is trying way too hard in order to justify the R rating of the show. One thing is for certain, production companies don't want consumers to have fun. Animation companies on the other hand do want to, which is why OLM decided to put the most insane budget into Komi Can't Communicate over the two cores. I still regret not making a separate video on this show because it is one of the most fun animes I have watched for 2 years now. It understands its audience wonderfully, it has all sorts of twisted characters much like real people and a sweet soundtrack that can go killer sometimes. They probably had hundreds of thousands of dollars go into this one eraser battle sequence which was a lot of fun. The background slides always look pretty and it was just a wonderful experience overall. Komi Can't Communicate is still a must-watch for everyone in 2023. Give it a shot, I promise you won't regret it. Don't lie, you were waiting for this anime on the list. Spy Family is in my opinion the most adorably chaotic anime of the year. Back in January of last year, I said this. Now Cloverworks and Wit Studio are working on this anime and there isn't much room for hesitation, but Shueisha is the production company. They could find a way to fuck it up. But wow, Shueisha didn't randomly drop the ball and the collaboration between Cloverworks and Wit is turning out to be a massive success. Spy Family is the one anime that you wish to watch in your happiest times and is something special that you will eventually make time for. Anya's and schemes, Yours uneven yet hardworking role as a wife, and watching Lloyd gradually being humanized is extremely precious. Let it be in manga or anime format, you will try Spy Family and hopefully you won't regret a second of it. It feels like almost every rom-com anime comes out just for the next one to become its grand successor before falling down the same path. Pointless love triangles, stupid issues, and a rushed ending can ruin a great story. Kaguya-sama took these tropes, broke each of them in half and said, okay, my turn now. Since 2019, The growth of the fanbase of this series has been ridiculous. This show knows what it is and has been honest with its audience, and is it any surprise that it came so far to being the highest voted rom-com on almost every anime website? The series might not have the greatest cast, but it has creative jokes and wonderfully written characters who acknowledge those jokes. None of the said characters are wasted into the shadows. It is almost as if they all hold significance to each other's stories. Kaguya-sama at this point has become not just an example for rom-com animes to learn from, but is now also a major pillar in anime and manga in general. In short, Kaguya-sama feels like just a massive celebration. I might be the person to have the biggest 180 on Attack on Titan. Screw it. This final season of Attack on Titan has been nothing more than phenomenal so far, and I am absolutely stoked for the next one. From a narrative standpoint alone, every episode is extremely engaging and exciting. The new music by Hiroyuki Sawano takes every fight to the next level, and the animation done by MAPPA is just straight up fire. The writing of all of the previous seasons are finally coming together to give us the most insane twists and turns the series has offered. If there is one thing I adore about this show now, is the fact that it could arguably end as one of the most iconic conclusions in modern day shonen. But you never know, people are still pretty pissed. I still stand by the words I said last year. I cannot stand the Chainsaw Man fanbase. I think they are extremely disgusting, they probably haven't bathed in 6 months, and they still think same shit different year joke is funny. Wait, that last one is me. I'll concede, I had a lot of fun with Chainsaw Man and it is easily one of the best shows this year. Why? Well, firstly, Chainsaw Man is daring. It has the no filler, no bullshit factor that I have been dying to see in more shonen series. The author will kill off your dearest and some of the most important characters for the growth of others, and in the middle it will make you feel that connection. Secondly, it has amazing action. The more you watch anime, you get used to the generic training arc system. You know what I'm talking about. The one dude gets a power up and manages to master it in a few days to the fullest extent. Chainsaw Man looks down on its characters and beats them to a pulp, and then the author picks them back up so that they can act a little bit more creatively and act cocky even in their defeat. Lastly, they have 13 different ending songs, like are you kidding me? Plus they got Aimer, TK, Eve and Vondi in here. Come on, let's admit it, we all loved Chainsaw Man.
Hey, 大将やってる
Bochi the Rock is better than half of the shit anyone will recommend you from last year. I'm dead serious about this. At first glance, everyone saw Bochi as just another cute girls doing cute things anime. But those who watched this anime know that this was a super solid contender for anime of the year, and it probably is for a lot of people. Bochi the Rock is a show that consistently plays at its strengths, with the best sound design all year, which is then followed by the best performances by the VAs in 2022, and with one of the best animation productions all year. Hitori, Nijika, Ryo, Kita and all of the show's supporting cast have more life, energy and personality together than any sets of characters from last year. It is a show that I recommend to every single person because it's fun to have something that brings a smile to your face. This show is a passion project, and I just hope that a second season gets announced and is produced with the same amount of love. I honestly would have loved to keep Licorice Recoil on this list, but unfortunately I just couldn't slip it in. However, that doesn't mean the show lacks in any department in comparison to all of the other shows. On the list, you have already seen a lot of animes I have labeled as fun. But if there is one show that truly understands the core of fun, then it is this show. Licorice Recoil is stylish, fashionable, polished and a high-octane roller coaster ride and respected with one of the best antagonist figures I have seen all year. It's tough to make a list of things you love and then pick one out of all of them to declare it as the best for a certain time. And that's exactly what happened with me this year. In 2019, everyone had Vinland Saga as their favorite. In 2020, it was Jujutsu Kaisen. And then in 2021, I had Link Click on my list. But this year, I can't pick one. I have two shows on the first spot. It has been 2 years since the Made in Abyss movie and 6 years since the first season. The hype around the return of the anime series was only felt by those who have watched the prequels, and shit dude, it did not disappoint. Made in Abyss Season 2 introduces its audience to the 6th layer of the pit, and this is not just a massive leap for the journey of Riko, Reg and Nanachi, but also home to easily the most creative world building you will find in 2022. The story is so rich and profound with deeply layered dual narrative and continues to build upon every fraction of the element it has already introduced. With gorgeously written dialogues, a vibrant world, a consistently engaging narrative, and one of the best soundtracks in anime history, Made in Abyss is already one of the best stories in the medium, and what excites me the most is that this is just the beginning of it. And then a certain fanbase had to wait even longer than 6 years for the continuation. On March 27, 2012, TV Tokyo aired the last episode of Bleach with the title Changing Days, Unchanging Heart. The episode adapted the final chapter of the Lost Agent arc and then ended. The series had 366 episodes in total for almost 10 years, and then October 10th, 2022 arrived, and we finally got this. You're probably tired of hearing at this point, but Bleach has never looked better. I had hopes that yeah, it will be good, but I never imagined that they would go to the extent of giving us a fan service Bankai right at the start. The 1000-Year Blood War arc is a project that truly shows how much success the industry can achieve if the right people are given the jobs. It is crafted with so much passion and in the process polishes not only Kubo's already well-established introductory part of the finale, but also gives him freedom to include minor yet important details he couldn't add before. It had the most heartfelt and empowering finale that has elevated my expectations for the second core. Oh shit, I forgot about Pokemon.